What's goody? It's your boy. I'm back with another banging video. What's goody, Bird Gang? Today we got a Bird video from Nonstop. How good was Larry Bird actually? Make sure y'all subscribing to Nonstop. Shouts out to you, man. I don't think I did many videos from this guy, so I'm hoping this is gonna be a good one. I seen a couple other ones, so I think I'm gonna do a couple today. You know what I'm saying? Coming with some new videos for y'all. So to show their appreciation, make sure y'all do me a big favor. Spaz out on that like button, because by liking the video, more people gonna see the video, and subscribe to the channel if you do. But other than that, I'm not even gonna hold y'all. We're gonna jump into it. We're gonna speak a little bit throughout the video. We're gonna speak after the video. Y'all know what time it is. Let's jump into it.
Larry Bird was one of the best players to ever touch a basketball, and together with Magic Johnson, the biggest NBA star of the 80s.
Yes, sir.
What made him so successful considering he was
They
quite
saved
unathletic?
the NBA.
And how would he fare in today's NBA? Did he win just because his teams
Luka
were loaded? And where does he stand among the best shooters of all time? Watch the rest of the video to find out.
Okay, let's get it.
A hick from French Lick. Bird was born into a
Yes,
poor
sir.
family in French Lick, Indiana, a town of 2,000 inhabitants. Larry grew up a shy, introverted kid who didn't talk much, and he did most of his talking on the basketball court. He grew up to 6'9" and played at small forward, but with his understanding of basketball, he could play whatever position he wanted. Larry finished his high school career as the best scorer in school's history,
best
and he
scorer
could
in
choose where he
school's
wanted to go
history?
to college. He started playing for Bobby Knight at Indiana University, but didn't like the spotlight and being around so many people. He then settled at Indiana State University, where the pressure was much less than with the Hoosiers. Larry averaged 30.3 points, 13.3 rebounds, and 4.6 assists in
30
college.
points,
The Sycamores
13
were
rebounds,
invincible in Bird's senior
6
year
assists.
and became the #1 team in the country with a 33-win streak. Their only loss came in the 1979 NCAA
33?
Finals, where they played against Michigan State, led by senior guard Urban Johnson. Despite 19
That's where
points
it
from
started.
Bird, Magic and his teammates celebrated the title in what was the most watched college basketball game in history at the time. Bird was named the Collegiate Player of the Year, leaving Indiana State as the 5th-ranked NCAA scorer of all time. He was already drafted, as the Boston Celtics selected him in the NBA draft in 1978, hoping that Bird, who qualified for the NBA as a junior, would skip his senior year. He opted to stay in Indiana, and when he finally arrived in Boston, the Celtics looked nothing like their championship selves, with consecutive losing seasons.
Facts.
Bird then single-handedly caused the biggest turnaround
Turned it
ever
around,
seen in the NBA
bro.
at the time. Boston improved their record from the season before by 32 wins and finished with 61 wins.
Improving, which is crazy. He said it improved by 32 wins, which is crazy because I did want to stop it just for 2 seconds to go back to how they said he didn't want to play in the spotlight for Indiana, so he went to Indiana State. But at the same time, bro, the craziest part to me is he said they went on a 33-game win streak. Bro, that is unheard of. But that's homage to how great he was even coming out of high school. So I definitely appreciate his grit, tenacity, to be able to be that introvert he was, going back to what I was saying at the beginning, because you're just a different type of person, analytical. Maybe you don't speak to people for a reason, you know what I'm saying, experiences, or maybe you're just learning yourself. But at the end of the day, he had to break out of that shell, not wanting to be in the spotlight, because once he was that guy at Indiana State, getting eligibility to as a junior to hit the draft, to go to the NBA and stayed that year. Everybody's looking. They drafted him a year early. Everybody wants to know what's going on. Everybody wants to know about this kid. So he had to really, you know what I'm saying, get out of his shell, because he didn't want to play in the spotlight. This is only like a couple of years between each other, so it's a lot of growth there. It's a lot of growth, and I just appreciate that. But the biggest part is his skill set, his skill level. That was 33 straight games in college. Then go to Boston and change their record, like turn the whole organization around. 32 plus games. So 33 straight wins in college, then 32 extra wins the next season. That's literally a turnaround. That's literally saving the whole season, the organization, and you can't say the impact. I don't know who else came in with him. Like, if y'all can let me know in the comments who else probably came in at the same time as Bird, like what other rookies or whoever they got that year. But we all feel like the turnaround was because of Bird. I don't know who else came to the team that year though. But that's insane. That's the biggest thing I gotta talk about, because what? Like it's the impact he has on wherever he's playing. He's the biggest impact on the court, and it just gets crazy from there on. So let's jump back into it.
And 21 losses. Although his arch rival Magic Johnson had an impressive season and won the title with the Lakers, Bird was named the Rookie of the Year with the average of 21.3 points, 10.4 rebounds, and 4.5
21
assists.
and 10 as a
He
rookie
also made the
and made an
All-Star
All-Star
team
team.
and first-team All-NBA, and even finished 4th in the MVP voting. And
Fourth?
proved he could transform a mediocre team
On his
into a
rookie
great
year?
one, all by himself. A new green dynasty. After Bird's rookie year, the Celtics had a busy offseason. Legendary Red Auerbach
And
won
he
his
beat
magic
Magic out
and brought
for
two
Rookie of the
new
Year.
faces to Boston that would form one of the biggest dynasties in NBA history. Auerbach robbed Golden State by sending them the 1st and 13th pick in the 1980 draft in exchange for center Robert Parrish and the 3rd pick, which became Kevin McHale.
Ooh, they
Along with
was
the newly
setting it
formed
up.
Big Three, the Celtics also had an all-star point guard, Nate Tiny Archibald, young and athletic forward Cedric Maxwell, and a few well-integrated role players that made the team complete. The head of the snake was, of course, Larry Bird.
Hey, they knew
who was
what
second
they
in
had.
MVP voting,
They wouldn't
en
get more
route to a
people
league-leading
to make them even more
62-20
successful.
record. The Celtics avenged the loss to the Sixers from the previous year, and after a tough 7-game series in the Eastern Finals, they were in the NBA Finals once
In
again.
year 2?
There they would be met by the Houston Rockets, led by prime Moses Malone, who was
Malone.
arguably the best center in the league at the time. Malone averaged 23 and 16 in the series, but the Celtics
That's
were
not
too good of a
enough.
team and would win the title with 4 games to
That's
2.
not enough.
Bird averaged 15 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists for the series. But the Finals MVP went to Cedric Maxwell.
He was hooping.
Led the Celtics in scoring with 18 points per game. And when everybody already saw the
Just
new
the
green
18
dynasty,
points beat out
2
the
bad
double-double?
years ensued. Despite Bird's all-around excellence and McHale's improvement, they once again were the #1 seed in the East. Bird was
So
the All-Star
McHale
Game
came in
MVP,
too.
but Philadelphia retaliated.
Hey, 2 seconds. McHale came in too. Very impactful. Year 2, they won the NBA. Wait. I'm a little ahead of myself. They got to the NBA Finals, year 2. But let me not get ahead of myself. Let's backtrack for 2 seconds. Bro, Magic made it to the NBA Finals year 1, and he won it. If I'm not mistaken, that's what he said. And he still beat him out for Rookie of the Year. That's crazy. 15, and I think they said 6. And he didn't have MVP? You beat him out with just 18 points? What kind of... I don't know what the other stats look like, but if it wasn't 18 and like 7 assists or at least a double-double, how do you beat him out? I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't there to watch it. Y'all let me know how that worked, because I feel like 15 assists, 15 points, and 4 assists. You definitely deserve the MVP on that one. Like, you get beat out by just an 18-point per game performance. That just don't add up. But let me know what y'all think about that in the comments. Let's jump back into it.
For a close defeat in the Eastern Finals. And this time, they won in 7 games. The year after, the Celtics regressed even more, finishing as a 3rd seed and getting swept in the 2nd round by the Milwaukee
on this
Bucks.
3rd season?
After that, Coach Bill Fitch resigned and was replaced
This is
by
season
Casey
3, right?
Jones, who won 8 titles in the Bill Russell era as a player.
Casey Jones.
The change bore fruit. The team was refreshed with the young shooter Danny Ainge and veteran point guard Dennis Johnson, and played the best basketball in the NBA, finishing with a 62-20 record. After 3 years of coming in second, Larry Bird finally won the regular season MVP with 24.2 points, 10.1 rebounds, and 6.6 assists on average.
Dang, 24,
the Celtics
10, and
steamrolled
6.
to the finals, where a
MVP.
known foe awaited. It was, of course, Magic and the Lakers. The title was decided in Game 7, where Larry Bird led the Celtics to their 15th NBA title. Bird was named the Finals MVP, and he finally had his revenge over
Well
Magic,
deserved.
who defeated him in the NCAA Finals of 1979. The following season, the Celtics were even better in the regular season. Bird repeated as MVP,
Dang.
and McHale repeated
They was on a
Sixth
run.
Man of the Year. They got to the finals again, the same opponent. After the Celtics won Game 1, 148-114, in a game that was dubbed the Memorial Day Massacre, it seemed like the Celtics were going to dominate the Lakers and repeat as champions. However, the Lakers had other plans, and especially Kareem was determined to defeat the Celtics. Kareem averaged 25.7 points, 9 rebounds, and 5.2 assists in 6 games, on 60% shooting. And the Lakers have finally won the NBA Finals against the Celtics. For the first time,
with Magic is hard to beat.
1986, the greatest Celtics team ever in the pinnacle of Bird's career.
Time out. Yeah, time out. They've been running through the league every year, but 1986, he already won MVP one year and everything. Finals MVP, and this is the best team? They've already been running through everybody. What? That messed my head up when he said that. Like, this is the pinnacle of the Celtics squad. So they literally had a couple of bumps throughout. And my biggest thing was when they switched coaches to KC Jones, it seemed like he went and he got a little more active with the guards. He went to get Dennis Johnson and Danny Ainge. The other coach was focusing more on bigs, which is not a bad thing. It just, they needed a little bit of the guard play to get them over that hump that they was having for a couple of years. And then, like, they literally had a run, though, ever since they got Bird. And that just shows what type of player he is and the type of team they built around him because they knew what they had. And that's what some NBA teams, I don't know, man. Nowadays, they literally don't build correctly around their stars. I feel like they built correctly around Bird. They went get the right pieces and the right pieces to play the right way. Also, just think that the run that they were on, and I think it was 1986 right before I paused it. And now this is the pinnacle here. He's already been having Rookie of the Year, MVPs, finishing 4th in MVPs, Finals MVPs. And it's just getting to the best of the best. That's insane. He had an insane run. His career was very different. I love the insight in this video because he's giving me a lot of, like, not only tips, but also things that I haven't heard. Like, just, you know how I am on these videos. There's a lot of repetitive videos where they say the same thing. Nah, he's giving us details and things that we ain't even heard about throughout his whole career. So I like his videos. They get into mad details. So I'm going to do a couple more of these how good whoever was actually. I like this one. And y'all already know how we get down with these Bird videos. So let's jump back into it.
After the finals loss, Auerbach made another clever move. He traded Cedric Maxwell to the Clippers for Bill Walton, once one of the most talented centers in the league, who accepted the role of a sixth man on the Celtics, while Kevin McHale moved to the starting lineup. The Celtics won 50 out of 51 home games. That's a
crazy move, though.
Which is a record that still stands and likely will never be broken. Dang. Larry Bird experienced the absolute peak of his game and basketball brilliance in 85-86. He deservedly won another MVP and became
another
the only player
MVP
other than Wilt and Bill Russell to win the award in 3 straight seasons. The 85-86 season
hands down goated.
Several games that proved the endless basketball genius of Larry Bird, and most notable is the left-handed game. Before the game against Portland, Bird surprised his teammates and journalists by saying that he would shoot the whole game with his left hand because he wanted to motivate himself for a relatively meaningless regular season game. How much did he score? Just 47 points, 14 rebounds, 11 assists with a game-winning shot, and 22 points scored with his left hand out of sheer boredom and fun. And those are the reasons why he was called Larry Legend. Apart from that, he also scored a career-high 60 points on the Atlanta Hawks earlier in the season. Almost everything he put up toward the basket went in, and he got into such a zone that the Hawks bench jumped off their chairs and cheered, after which they received hefty penalties from the Hawks coach, Mike Fratello. Throughout the game, the commentator noted that what he was watching was the biggest shooting exhibition in basketball history. And at the time, it truly was. The Celtics won 67 games in the regular season.
Who
lost just
like
one
that?
game in the playoffs on their way to the finals. There, they would be greeted by the Twin Towers of Houston, Ralph Sampson, and Hakeem Olajuwon, who defeated the Lakers in the West Finals. But nobody could touch the Celtics that season, who were one of the most talented teams ever assembled. Bird was 2 rebounds and 3 assists shy of averaging a triple-double in the finals, and he deservedly won his second Finals MVP. Final years, injuries, and the dream team. In 1987, the Celtics had a very difficult season. Their number 2 pick, Len Bias, tragically passed away after the draft, and they suffered many injuries.
Yo, that's the one thing. Let me pause it for a second. That's the one thing I hate. And I'm going to just go out and say that because injuries is the only thing that derails so many of these superstars that could have been higher in everybody's list, everybody's top 10, anything. D Rose, Larry Bird, bro, averaged the 80, what was the 85, 86 season they was just talking about. He averaged almost a triple-double in the finals. He said he was 3 rebounds and 2 assists shy of averaging a triple-double in the finals. He averaged a double-double in the finals, but dang near averaged a triple-double. Bro, if injuries did not do what they did to the back end of his career, because he wasn't even, like, super old yet. So he was still had something left in the tank. Even with the injuries, he still had stuff left in the tank. Bro, we would have probably got some crazy work. It was just these injuries derailed all of the play. Everything. His body didn't work the same. He couldn't move the same. He couldn't play the same amount of minutes. He couldn't give it what he wanted to. He could still give it a lot and give it the bird, but not the way it was before he had all these knick-knack injuries, bro. These injuries really be pissing me off because we could have probably get 2, maybe I'm stretching it, 3 more prime Bird years if these injuries didn't really derail it. And maybe we could have got an averaging a triple-double a year, or an averaging triple-double in the finals, or going for 60, 70 in the finals and calling these shots. Just the injuries, bro. That's the biggest thing that really pissed me off with a lot of some of these people. Like, Brandon Roy was one of my favorite players ever, but injuries, nobody knows who he is now. People don't even remember him, but I remember him. But it's only the basketball people, the real people that really be in tune remember him. But that's one of the biggest careers too. That was D Rose, and D Rose still after the injury did his thing, but he was never the same. And that's my thing, bro. Bird could never be the same as we wanted him to be, but he was still exciting, goated, competitive. But I hate the fact that, but let's get into it, because I know we're about to start talking it's about to get real sad, and we got to start talking about the injury part, but let's get into it.
During the season and the playoffs, but Larry Bird was too good, and they still advanced to the finals after 2 7-game series against the Bucks and the bad boy Pistons, where Bird made one of the most legendary plays and stole the inbounds pass from Isaiah Thomas that won a crucial Game 5 for the Celtics. That was crazy. And in the finals again, it was the Lakers for the 3rd time in 4 years. Because LA was much more rested coming to the finals, the Celtics did not have enough gas in the tank to stop the fast-paced showtime. Bird delivered another 24, 10, and 5 for the series, but it wasn't good enough, and Magic got the best of him once again. Next year, Bird had maybe one of the best statistical years of his career. He averaged 30 points on 50, 40, and 90 shooting, a feat he achieved the previous year as well, proving that he's the best shooter who ever played 50, 40, at the time. 90? The Celtics reached the conference finals, but it would be their last hurrah as the Pistons finally got over the hump and managed to beat them. In the offseason, Bird sustained a severe back injury from chopping wood back home in Indiana. He was one of the best basketball players in the world, who had millions of dollars. But
that's one other thing. Like, two things. He said he suffered a severe back injury from chopping wood right there. And then I heard in another video that he had even another substantial back injury from doing his mom's driveway or something. Bro, these are things you could have got laborers to do. Not to say it's beneath you or anything. You're just worth millions, bro. I mean, I feel the hands-on, wanting to work, wanting to do something when he's not playing ball, but at the same time, it's just bro, those back injuries came from things that could have been avoided. Oh my God, we could have got them prime years I was just talking about. We could have got them triple-double years. We could have got a whole different set of things happening after those MVPs. But this is like a knick-knack injury that should have never been. Now, if he liked chopping wood, he liked chopping wood, and that's just what he do. That's okay. But I'm just saying, dang, man, chopping wood, helping your mama. He's not doing nothing wrong. Helping his mom out. Not doing anything wrong. It's insane. But let's jump back into it.
He was still the hick from French Lick.
By doing her driveway,
when he needed to, and I respect him even more for that. The back injury and surgery on both
I
Achilles
can't not
tendons
respect him for
caused
it.
him to miss almost the entire 88-89 season. However, even debilitated,
Both
Bird was better than
Achilles
most
tendons.
players in the league, and despite needing to stretch for more than 2 hours to be able to run, he was still very productive. He was named an All-Star each of the last 3 seasons, along with some memorable performances, like a game in the 1991 playoffs where he suffered a concussion, but then pulled a Willis Reed and came back to the game, scored
That
17
hit to
points
the
in the second
face
half, and won the
and get
series
me.
for the Celtics. Unfortunately, the toll on his body was getting too much to bear, and he ended his career in 1992 when he finally became teammates with his good friend Magic Johnson.
I wasn't
on the
even
Dream
born.
Team. Bird flew off into the sunset with a gold in Barcelona, retiring as the best small forward and the best shooter to ever play. Legacy. Trash-talking god, top 10 player ever. One of the most famous Larry Bird trash-talking stories is from the 1986 three-point shooting contest when the legend walked into the locker room and asked all the other participants who's coming in second after him. Of course, he went on and swished near every three-pointer and won, all without taking his jacket off. Bird would win the three-point shooting competition the next 2 years as well. And before Reggie Miller came along, there was no argument who's the best shooter ever. On the 26th of December 1990, Indiana's Chuck the Rifleman Person said he's going bird hunting before the Celtics game. Bird replied that he'd got a Christmas present for him, and while Chuck was on the bench, Bird got the ball in the corner just in front of the Pacers bench. He hit the jump shot, turned to Chuck, and said Merry effing Christmas. And that's who Larry Bird was, and how he talked. He was the ultimate competitor. He had all the skills in the world to back it up. He'd tell players where he would get the ball, what he was going to do, and then do it. And there was nothing they could do to stop him. He accused the opposing team of putting a white guy to guard him because he felt that was disrespectful. And if you watch Space Jam, you know that Larry isn't white. He's clear. Bird would drink half the bar under the table. Sometimes he'd fight people in the bar as well, and then go to the game the next day and dominate, as if nothing happened. Bird was a unique player, and there was nobody like him. At first glance, his moves look almost clumsy, far from physically dominant or athletic. He rarely dunked, his vertical was average at best, and he never played exceptionally fast. From the neck down, in basketball terms, he was nothing special. From the neck up until the end of his fingertips, he was pure genius. There's no doubt that he would be a great player in today's era, where we can see players like Doncic and Jokic dominate the game without great physical talent. Bird was one of the top 10 players who ever played, and one of the best pure shooters ever. He was the best player in the NBA for almost an entire decade, despite the brilliance from Magic and the athleticism of Michael Jordan. And like Magic Johnson said,
even with those
there
players,
will never
he stood
be
out.
another Larry Bird.
Yo, that was a good video. There will never be another Larry Bird. I like that one. Shouts out to Nonstop. Make sure y'all subscribe to his channel and checking out other content. I will be checking out more content. I liked it, all the details in this video. Let me go back to one thing I did want to say before I completely stopped. Excuse me. I didn't want to stop the video again. It was almost done. Dude, the 2 Achilles tendons part. Now, not only did he tear 2 Achilles tendons, he came back, and specifically the narrator said he was still better than mostly everybody in the league. Off of 2 Achilles tendons tears, and then every time he came back into the game, he had to stretch for dang near 2 hours just to play. That's them injuries and that age catching up, I'm not gonna lie. But even with the injuries, he was still a top competitor, a top trash talker, still got some of the top stats and top accolades within those years before he retired in 92. It's so crazy because now that like I think about it, and when he said that, it just really stood out to me this time that, bro, I wasn't even born the whole time this was happening, and this is one of my favorite eras now. Like the rivalry, him and Magic. Not only the fact that him and Magic had this crazy rivalry going on, there was a young cat over there on the other side named Jordan that was really coming up around this time too. So he got to play against him too. We're talking about the Twin Towers, you know what I'm saying? The good Rockets team he played, going at it with Dominique Wilkins. He played some great competition, and no matter what happened, no matter which way it went, he always came out either on top, or the competition said that he was the hardest player they played. So It's a respect, mutual thing. And the trash talk is only a plus because it's all in the game. If you play basketball and you never trash talk, then where's the fun? You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm all about good sportsmanship and everything, but a little bit of competitiveness and trash talk is always a good thing in my opinion. As long as it don't go too far. And hey, honestly, it got so competitive to the point where they started throwing hands. But at the same time, going back to the point of him having to stretch for 2 hours just to play sometimes, it shows homage to his not only competitive nature, just his love of the sport. You have to have a love of the game to tear both of them and have to stretch for 2 hours and to prolong your career. And you did whatever you had to do just to keep playing. Now, that's the type of love that these NBA players nowadays are lacking. And not to point out all the injury and the toughness, again, that he would have, is just like, I'm thinking about the Zions, Kawhi Leonard's, and I'm not just saying they should play through injuries or this and that, but there's a lot of times where we're just sitting out 60 games, we're sitting out an entire season, and Bird was playing through all this, and y'all wonder why they say the NBA is soft now. Y'all wonder why they say it's not the same type of league. It's not the people just lying. It's the people that saw what the league was before and now what the league is. It's different. It's entertaining to a certain extent, but where's the toughness? Where's the grit that the game, I understand it evolved, but where's the grit that we're looking for? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you lose viewers because of that competitive edge that we're missing out. I understand they're millionaires, but that's the whole point. They're millionaires, bro. Bird and them were millionaires too, but they weren't getting paid what y'all getting paid, so y'all should be giving us just a little bit of that effort that they was giving us. That's all I'm saying. But I appreciate you guys for watching, man. This was a great video. I can't wait to get back to the content, so I need y'all guys to spaz out on that like button if y'all want to see me coming with more new content very quickly. Spaz out on that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, man. I got great things coming for y'all, man. I've been trying to do a lot of different things on the channel, so we're working on it. I'm trying to get as many videos coming as possible. My laptop is tripping, so Cash App is in the channel, I think in the description. Check it out, you feel me? If you could send anything, send something. We trying to get a new laptop because my laptop keep dying every time I'm trying to edit. It kind of discourages everything I'm trying to do right now, so gotta work around that while I'm trying to get things done. And y'all know how much a new MacBook would be, so that's a lot. So anything helps, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, I hope you guys appreciate this video. I appreciate you guys for the love. Shouts out to all of y'all for getting us where we got. Trying to get to 100K. Got a lot of things to do. Got a lot more work to be done. But growth, progression, that's what it's all about. Step by step, day by day, man. We're going to do great things. I appreciate you. Hope you know what it is, and I'm out your dick.